Hello, hello. Greetings. Happy holiday season to all the Galactic Jedis. How's everyone doing out there? I am 2 minutes in. Not bad, right? No computer issues. I think we've kind of, neutralized the AI at this point. I don't think they can mess with us because we are momentous. We are powerful, and there's nothing that's going to stop us, guys. There's nothing that's going to stop us. So I just want to welcome everyone that's on here at this time. Thank you so much for spending your Christmas evening with me. I hope everybody has had a beautiful day today and yesterday visiting family and friends. I wanted to just give you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Merry Christmas. Is that what it, or Happy Hanukkah, depending on what you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate the holiday season, well, welcome anyways. Welcome anyways. Now, there are pros and cons when it comes to the holiday seasons. For people that are very educated, for people that are, you could say, intelligent, the critical thinkers, they know that some of these holiday seasons were no other than ancient holidays that were implemented by, the Roman Empire, the worship of paganism, the idea that the sun travels around the 12 zodiacs, and it was all symbolically representing, the ending of an age, what they call the dark age, right, where all the crops died, and the beginning of a new age. And so, to some, they believe that the idea of this birthing of a savior is a metaphor describing the rise of the sun during spring, right? It's really the rotation or the revolution of our star around the 12 constellations, which symbolically represents the 12 apostles or disciples. But there is more, every ancient culture has the same similar story, right? There was a king that was born, that was crucified, and on the third day rose, right? When we study the ancient Zoroastrianism, we hear of the prophet Zarathustra. Zarathustra was also, just like Jesus, same story. He was born to a virgin woman. He was crucified by the powers that be, and then he was resurrected on the third day. Well, let's go back to Greece, and we hear the same story with Dionysus. Dionysus was born from a Virgin Mary, right? And then what? He was killed, and then he was resurrected on the third day. All right, let's now go over to the story of Egypt. Same with the story of Horus. Horus was born to Isis, right? And then he was killed, and then he resurrected. So in this case, I think it was Osiris that was killed, right? And then he was resurrected by his own wife Isis on the third day, right? And let's go back to Babylon. The same with, I think it was not Nimrod, but somebody else. I forget the name of the figure that was also supposedly born, killed, and then resurrected on the third day. Born from a Virgin Mary, born from a Virgin Mary. And then, of course, the story of Bacchus. So this is obviously a repetitive story that all the ancient cultures talked about, So this holiday that most people celebrate, they have no clue of its evolution or where it came from. They just kind of go along with the flow, right? It's called conformity. But don't get me wrong, this is the best time of year, the best time of the year for a lot of us who get an opportunity to go visit family and friends, get some time off from work and just kind of enjoy the holiday season, all right? But little do people know about the occult symbolism behind these holidays that we celebrate without question. So I was able to gather some information with some articles that I want to read, beginning with the story of the story of the sun, right? The sun and the 12 apostles, right? Which is the 12 constellations. This is a metaphor, guys. So let me put on my glasses and I'm going to read some information. So that way you guys could come up with your own understanding of what, Christmas and the holiday season is all about. So the transit of the sun moves from south from June through December. Yes, this perspective is Northern Hemisphere centric, but that's because the gospel story comes from the Northern Hemisphere. The weather gradually gets colder and plants die. The plants are dying because the sun is dying, becoming weaker as it gives less light. The sun is motionless. That is, it stops going further south for a few days around the solstice, December 22nd to the 24th, near the constellation of the Southern Cross. And then on December 25th, it moves again. In other words, the sun dies on the cross and then is soon reborn. Now, this is talking about our star, the sun, the star that revolves around the 12 houses of the zodiac, right? The constellations. Okay. The sun is, where am I? Okay, so it moves again. In other words, the sun dies on the cross and then is soon reborn. This parallels the sun dying on the cross and then rising after 3 days. Okay, the sun brings spring, while the sun brings salvation. After the spring equinox around Easter, light finally becomes greater than dark, and the sun has overpowered the darkness, evil. Jesus' promise to return is the rising of the sun every morning. Again, symbolically representing the rising of our sun star every morning as it gives light, right? The 12 disciples parallel the 12 signs of the zodiac. The typical drawing of the zodiac is a ring of constellations with a horizontal and vertical line that divides them into 4 groups of 3 to identify the 4 seasons. In the center of this cross is often a circle for the sun. This symbol, the cross with a circle, think of a Celtic cross, is a pagan symbol that preceded Christianity. Jesus is often depicted with this circle behind his head as a halo. In this way, Jesus is depicted as the sun at the center of the zodiac, the light of the world, the light of the world. Another kind of halo was the crown of thorns, which parallels the sun's rays. So in summary, this interpretation draws parallels between the story of Jesus and astrological symbolism, suggesting that elements of the Christian narrative align with celestial events. The transit of the sun, particularly its apparent movement from June to December, symbolizes a journey that mirrors the story of Christmas. The sun's apparent death near the solstice, followed by its rebirth on the 25th of December, is likened to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. The spring equinox, where light overcomes darkness, corresponds to Jesus' promised return and the triumph over evil. Additionally, the 12 disciples are likened to the 12 signs of the zodiac. And symbols such as the cross with a circle and the halo are associated with pagan imagery that predates Christianity. This interpretation suggests a symbolic connection between Jesus and the celestial cycles of the sun and the zodiac. So according to this article, which, by the way, I will be sharing the description, so that way you guys could read these articles as well. The entire story of the Savior being born, right, to a virgin, and then being killed, and then having 12 apostles or disciples, and then resurrecting on the 3rd day. Many believe it's symbolically representing the travel, right, the motion of our sun through the galaxy, through the constellations. So that's just the first article I wanted to read. Now the second one, I'm going to read some articles, right? Even we're going to find out who is the reason why they completely almost celebrate this figure known as Santa Claus, and who Santa Claus is. Well, there was an actual figure who actually fit the role of Santa Claus, and then later, of course, was adopted to becoming the Santa Claus of Christianity. Now, don't get me wrong. In some cases, some believe that the concept of Santa is symbolically representing Satan. So again, that's in its inverted version. So this is where you guys have to use your own critical mind to decipher for yourselves what all this symbology is all about, okay? Because even the concept of Santa Claus is very, very symbolic. Okay, so Christmas is opted by the winter solstice. This is the article that is called "How Christmas is Opted by the Winter Solstice." Christmas has many pagan and secular traditions that early Christians incorporated into this new holiday. Saturnalia. Saturnalia was a festival that was celebrated by the Romans, by the way. So this is written by Kay. Key takeaways. Christmas was heavily influenced by the Roman festival of Saturnalia. The historical Jesus was not born on the 25th of December, as many contemporary Christians believe. Many staple Christian traditions predated the festival and were led into ancient pagan worship of the sun and related directly to the winter solstice. In the depths of darkness, in the depths of darkness covering the entire northern hemisphere, the winter solstice has marked the shortest day of the year. It has always held significance in many cultures' religious festivities and holidays. A great deal of religions have made the celestial moment a holy day. It is the darkest day of the whole year, and for the ancients, that meant a lot more to them than it does to us today. Sun worshippers and pagans have venerated this natural cycles for millennia. Christmas, as we know it today, is a relatively new holiday. Many traditional elements are associated with Christmas, which predate Christianity by many centuries. This is also a lot of debate as to how much corporate and commercial interest have influence over this holiday. Nowadays, there is a lot of hand waving when it comes to the Christian origins of Christmas. Inarguably, however, is the fact that the holiday's modern iteration has been influenced by many pagan and secular festivities, early human celebrations, and customs during the winter solstice. You'll find plenty of pagan customs in Christmas that were adopted during the early Christian spread around the Roman Empire. We can look back to both the Romans and the Celts, or the Celts, for a whole lot of our modern day Christmas traditions. For instance, the Celts began celebrating once the winter solstice arrived and rejoiced that the days were slowly getting longer, which meant that spring and the harvest was around the corner. This was most pronounced in their holiday of Yule, Y-U-L. Early Christians, who at that time were seen by many as being members of an urban cult, worked hard to try to convert and ban old pagan customs. But the rural pagan inhabitants of those lands were not convinced. Eventually, the church realized they needed to co-op some of these traditions. And I'm referring to the Catholic Church, right? All right, so around this time, the church came up with the idea that Jesus Christ, the Savior, their Savior, was born on December 25th. In the 4th century CE, Christianity had begun to draw heavily upon Roman festivals of Saturnalia. Saturnalia, guys, that is, what is it? The occult of the planet Saturn, right? Which is what? The black sun, the order of the black sun. So apparently, Christmas has its roots with the ancient cabal that used to run the Roman Empire, right? It's still a different way of celebrating Saturnalia, the worship of Saturn, which is what? Represented by the cabal, right? The cult, the black sun of Saturn, under the new name of Christianity, okay? Again, I don't have anything against religions. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I think everything has its pros and cons. There is light and dark to everything, all right? All right, so let me continue. So, the first mention of the Nativity feast and the early Christmas traditions appears in a Philocalian calendar dating about 354 CE. It was because of this pagan origin that celebrating Christmas was banned by the Puritans and made illegal in Massachusetts between 1659 and 1681. All right, so let's see. All right, so Romans during the Decadence by Thomas Couture. Saturnalia as the ultimate midwinter festival. Saturnalia, the worship of Saturn, right? Saturnalia was an ancient pagan holiday that honored the Roman god Saturn. It took place sometime between December 17th and the 24th. It was a week of revelry, decadence, and the inversion of social and moral roles. The festivities consisted of drinking, eating lavishly, and giving presents. The first century poet Gaius Valenius Catullus said that the Saturnalia was the best time of the year during the Roman Empire. All right. Wealthy Romans paid for their destitute and masters that would swap clothing during these days. Lucian of Samosata, speaking as the god Kronos, boasts about the exuberant time in his poem titled Saturnalia. During my week, the Sirius, let me read that again. During my week, the Sirius is bare. This is their poem, by the way. During my week, the Sirius is banned. No business allowed. Drinking and being drunk. Noise and games or of dice. Appointing of kings and fisting of slaves. What? And feasting off slaves? Oh my God, this is crazy. Singing naked, clapping, and occasional drunken off cork faces in icy water. Oh my God. This is what the Romans used to do on this holiday. This is crazy. Such are the functions over which I preside. Saturnalia began as a rural farmers' festival to mark the end of the planting season and midwinter. Both psychologically and cosmically, this was a unique time of the year for the ancients. Their darkness must have affected them tremendously, as without the modern advent of artificial lighting, lessening sunlight would have taken a toll on their mental health. During this time, sun and stargazers would have also seen the changes in the sun's position. All of this led to many religious spectacles and spiritual festivals. After all, they were now only relying on their summer food stores of grains and other crops to get them through the winter until they could again plant in the new season. Christmas traditions with other pagan origins. Even before historical record, pagans would worship the trees in the forest and even bring them into their house and start to decorate them. This is the origin of the Christmas tree, guys. It was adopted from an ancient pagan practice, okay? Let's see. Mistletoe, for example, was a plant revered by the Celts and the Norse. Celtic druids believed that the mistletoe would protect them against the elements of thunder and lightning. These druids would cut off a piece of mistletoe from the trees and then distribute that amongst their people for protection. It was also considered a symbol of peace and joy. Meeting under the mistletoe would call for enemies to put down their weapons and have a truce. Okay. Ivy, on the other hand, was the great symbol of Bacchus, the Roman equivalent of Dionysus, god of the wine, fertility, and ritualistic madness. Ivy is a symbol of eternal life. Traditional Christmas colors like green and red represent fertility. Burning Yule logs was representative of the returning sun as the days began to get longer again. Christmas Christmas revealers, commercial shoppers, and devout religious types can all thank the rich traditions and pagan history stretching back thousands of years to this holiday season. In summary, Christmas, as celebrated today, has its roots in ancient pagan and secular traditions with influences from festivals like Saturnalia. The celebration of the winter solstice, marked by various cultures, contributed to many customs now associated with Christmas. The Romans and the Celts played key roles in shaping early Christmas traditions. The church, seeking to convert pagans, eventually co-opted these traditions, aligning Jesus' birth with the 25th of December, Saturnalia. Saturnalia, an ancient Roman festival honoring Saturn, influenced the festive and gift-giving aspects of Christmas. Christmas colors like green and red, as well as traditions such as decorating trees and mistletoe, have pagan origins. The article emphasizes the historical opting of existing celebrations and customs to form the Christmas we know today. Well, for those of us that done the research, we do know that Jesus was not born at the end of the year, that he was actually born sometime in the spring. All right? Can I get a 2 thumbs up for those that have done their research? And that's a fact, by the way. That's a fact. So apparently, this major holiday that everybody celebrates is no other than the reorganized pagan and Celtic traditions of old. That's all it is. All right. We're still honoring the Black Order of the Black Sun, Saturn. Unfortunately, it sucks. All right, here's more. All right, so these stories are about the corp. Okay, in modern times, we could definitely see that the rich are you or the corporations rather are using this holiday as a way to what? To make money off the masses. All right, and that's one of the cons, right? This is one of the reasons why I don't believe in buying and shopping, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that stuff, guys. It's designed by the corporations to make money off of the masses. All right, believe it or not. I believe Christmas should be every day, right? Why do we wait once a year to have Christmas? Why can't we visit family and loved ones on a daily basis, or at least every few days a week, and bring them gifts? And it doesn't have to be expensive gifts. It could just be a heartwarming hug with a card. That's what I believe, all right? Okay, so according to this article, Christmas appeals for the masses. Initially, Christmas celebrations were restricted to the well-to-do with Christmas trees, roast turkey or goose, and gifts of toys and candy being a rarity for most people. This all changed over the course of the 20th century, which saw increased wealth among families and more capital to spend on the Christmas season. It is the biggest money-making, day of the year when you think about it. Okay, for not the masses, for the corporations, right? For those people that own 80% of these companies. All right, so let's see. This all changed over the course of the 20th century when we saw an increase of wealth among the families. All right, the first Sears Christmas wish list, which was filled with toys and Christmas-related products, was published in 1934. And Santa Claus was already being used to sell off soft drinks long before Coca-Cola launched their festive ad campaigns around the same time. It was in the 1930s that the famous mall Santas first started to appear as well, and businesses started to rely on the Christmas season to make their end-year profits. Let me read that again. It was around the 1930s that the famous small Santa, right? When you go to the mall during this time of year, there's always a Santa Claus there. Come take a picture with Santa. Tell Santa what you want, right? All right. Well, first started to make an appearance in business during these days in the 1930s, where pretty much they profit off of that, right? The corporations profit off of all of these holidays, by the way. All right. So the commercial aspects of Christmas crystallized in the economic boom of the 1950s as newfound affluence allowed people to truly make Christmas a time to splash out and enjoy themselves. Every family could now put up a Christmas tree and decorations in their home, buy gifts for their friends and family, and enjoy a full Christmas dinner and roast turkey and all of the trimmings. The occasion has only grown since then as businesses seek to capitalize on the Christmas season. All right, that's a fact. The modern day Christmas, as well as being the most important day of the Christian calendar, Christmas has become the most important day on the financial calendar. That's a fact. According to Forbes, retailers in America can expect to make $1 trillion. Let me read that again. According to Forbes, retailers in America can expect to make $1 trillion from Christmas sales, accounting for 1/4 of their yearly profits. Right? It's taking money from the middle class and feeding it into the wealthy. The National Retail Association, meanwhile, estimates a much more modest yet not unimpressive figure of nearly 500 billion. In the UK, it's estimated by the Bank of England that the average household will spend up to $100 extra in the months leading up to Christmas, usually on food, drink, and presents, totaling up to about 19 billion. Holy crap. As Black Market and Cyber Monday, Black Market, sorry, it should be called the Black Market. As Black Friday and Cyber Monday catch on across the global market, national economies have seen increased periods of spending stretching into November as well. Most retailers rely on Christmas sales to give their finances that much needed final push through to the end of the financial year. And it's typical around this period that they'll see the biggest intake. Many will therefore offer numerous Christmas discounts and offers, or deck themselves up in festive decorations in order to draw in a Christmas audience. A walk down a typical main street will be the town packed with Christmas shoppers getting the last minute purchase in. Now, the origin of Santa Claus. There was an actual gentleman, by the way, in which the whole tradition and concept of Father Santa Claus originated from. All right. So, and he was actually a saint. Let me read the origin of Santa Claus. And by the way, guys, when I first found out that Santa Claus wasn't real, I was only, I think, 9 or 10 years old. And that was very disappointing to find out that Santa Claus wasn't real as a kid. Anyways, I ended up getting drunk that day. I ended up drinking whiskey because I was disappointed that I was lied to about Santa Claus. Do you guys remember the day when you first realized that they lied to you about Santa Claus? Well, they obviously lied to us about everything, right? But it was very, very disappointing because as a kid, I strongly believed in Santa. Anyways, let me continue. So Father Christmas, the origin of Santa Claus. Here we go. I want to welcome all 690 people who are in the chat. Thank you so much for being here and spending your Christmas day or evening with me. Thank you so much. All right, so Father Christmas or Santa Claus started life as a pagan god. Oh, next to Jesus Christ, Father Christmas takes center stage at the Christmas celebrations. Today, he is celebrated as the central giver, but in times gone, he was a distillation of the spirit of Christmas. What? Christian tradition gives the original Father Christmas a saintly origin. He is Saint Nicholas, a bending and kindly Christian saint who, in the 4th century, was the bishop of Myra in modern Turkey. Interesting. Okay. As bishop, Nicholas gave out gifts to the poor and needy. This charitable act was recalled by the giving of gifts on December 6th, St. Nicholas Day. The church commemorated the bishop with the medieval custom of the boy bishop who was elected to reign over Christmas until the 28th of December. However, there are plenty of pagan candidates for the origin of the Father Christmas, Santa Claus. The figure of Saturn himself is one, as is the god Odin, who was reputed to drive a sleigh drawn by reindeers. Odin, the father of, for those that have seen the movie Thor, Odin is the father of Thor, right? He's like the king god of the Nordic Norse mythology tradition. So he was the one that was known to what? To drive to fly a sleigh flown by reindeers. So this is where we get the concept of Santa Claus and his reindeers. It was Odin, right? The father of Thor, right? Norse mythology, go figure. Right. So apparently this holiday, this celebration that we celebrate is a amalgamation of all these ancient practices put into one, according to everything that I've been reading. There's more. Let's see. The tradition of leaving mince pies and a glass of milk for Santa Claus also has its roots in the Scandinavian custom of making sacrifices to mark the coming of spring. Some of the other candidates are females, such as La Befana, the kindly Italian witch who delivered presents by broomsticks, or Frau Holy, who gave women gifts at the winter solstice. Any or all of these pagan characters influence the image of Father Christmas that we have today. Wow, that's pretty intense. Again, as a kid, I am sure that we all used to, love Christmas. We couldn't wait for that morning to wake up and see how many gifts we had under the Christmas tree. That's the truth. I think kids enjoy this holiday season more than anybody else. And then, of course, as soon as we discover that Santa Claus isn't real, that the Easter Bunny isn't real, As a child, it's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. I actually had to drink some alcohol just to kind of cope with the idea that Santa Claus wasn't real. So I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. I want to know your intake, where you guys stand in regards to to the Christmas tradition. I shouldn't call it Christian, right? To the Christmas tradition. Although, it is very relevant in the Christian community, I would say. And then, of course, the Jews celebrate Hanukkah, which is similar, right? Okay, so I'm going to take this question. Well, actually, no, I want to think. I'm actually going to get my phone so that I could read the chat. I want to welcome all 712 people that are here. Thank you so much for spending your Christmas evening with me. Oh, and by the way, I will be giving away 5 Christmas, 5 gifts, 5 audiobooks of our cosmic origin. So throughout this live, make sure that you guys get a piece of paper and a pencil and write down these numbers so that you guys can get your free audio book of our cosmic origin. That is my gift to 5 of you for being here. And I did announce that on my other social media platforms, by the way. So what are your, I want to thank Renee Siri for the super chat and for the number 1. Thank you so much for that. What are your intakes? What are your thoughts regarding Christmas? I want to know, guys. Where do you guys stand? I'm trying to look for the Easter Bunny is real too, and unicorns. Unicorns, it seems. I want someone who never played pretend, but now I know Santa is real, etc. This is from Ananda Sia. All right, so Tolane is saying, "Hi Ishmael, did you know Jesus born in a Mediterranean city called Antalya in Turkey? Also, the oldest church is there as well." No, I didn't know that. Again, there is so much controversy surrounding the idea of where he was born, if he was even real or not. Right? Some people believe that the whole concept of the sun dying and then resurrecting is really our star, our sun going around the zodiac. Thank you for the super chat, Joyful. I'm going to go ahead and read it. I appreciate your donation, sister. Ishmael, I sent you a picture on Instagram of an object in the sky above my home that looked just like a spaceship. Can you please explain it? All right. Well, I'm going to have to go to my Instagram and look it up. 1 second. What do you go by on Instagram? Joyful? I have so many DMs on Instagram, Joyful. If you I can't find it because I have so many DMs on Instagram. I apologize, Joyful. But I would love to see what picture you have. Well, how did you feel when you saw that spaceship? Did you feel like, it was good, something great? Did you feel, peace, or did you feel fear? I guess that's my question to you, Joyful. But I can't find the actual DM on my Instagram because I have hundreds of DMs. But if you want to resend it again, I'll look at it. Anyways, let's continue with more questions. I want to welcome 714 people that are here. Thank you for being here at this time. All right, so according to Sylvia Dow, Joyful goes by Bella Mia. Okay, thank you, Sylvia, for letting me know. I'm going to try to find it now, Bella Mia. Wow, there's several Bayamias. Bayamia. Is it all one word? Bayamia? Every time I type in Bayamia, we have about 10 different Bayamias that come up. So I can't, I don't know. I can't see that picture, unfortunately, at this time. All right, let me look at the chat. Maybe there's more information. You know, tell you what, Joyful, I'm going to go ahead and find it. And then on my next live, which is Wednesday evening, excuse me, I'll go ahead and let you know what I think about those pictures that you send. I just can't find it right now. Unfortunately, when I type in Bayamia, I get like 10 accounts. All right. So I've seen moving objects. According to Teresa McIntyre, she's saying, I've seen moving objects above my home on several occasions and gotten very excited. That is because the veil is lifting, guys. The veil is lifting. As the veil continues to lift, we're going to start seeing these ships. You know, we're going to see mother ships, mothercraft, scouting ships, um, and even some of our own. You know, some of our own military ships that are working with Space Force and Solar Warden. I would have to say that most of the craft out there belongs to us, but yet some of them are our star family. I like this. I'm going to read this from Letty Trey and Self. She says, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I do celebrate the spirit of giving, making, and baking. That's what it's all about, guys. Family, giving and having great food, right? But not getting drunk like the ancient Romans who used to get bloody drunk during this festival season. Because we know what happens when you're under the influence of alcohol, right? You open yourself up for what? For archon entities to come and take over your body. We have a super chat from Jimmy. How's it going, brother? Thank you for being here. And Jimmy is saying, Brother Ishmael, would you write another book about the history of Earth? This would be related to all the visitors, good, bad, that influenced the original humans. Here, lots of distorted books. Jimmy, my brother, I don't know if you read my book, Our Cosmic Origin, but in that book, I wrote about the entire, suppressed history of the Earth as it connects to the galactic history. So, but yes, I am in the process of writing another book that is going to incorporate the AI factor, the ultimate enemy in the cosmos. All right, are you guys ready? I'm going to give the first gift. I'm just going to pick somebody randomly, or rather, I'm going to just give away the actual QR code that is going to give you a free audio version of Our Cosmic Origin. Are you guys ready for the first one? Make sure you have a piece of paper and pencil and write this QR code down, because this is what's going to get you a free audio version. All right, so the first one is, are you guys ready? Let's see, who's going to get a free audio version of Our Cosmic Origin? W, E as in Edward, M as in mother, K as in kite, T as in Tom, U as in Urantia, C as in cat, X as in X Files, F as in Frank, P as in Paul, 7 as in 7, 11, 7, 2, and S. 2 and S. All right, let me repeat that again. W E M K T U C X F P 7 2 S. That's a QR code. If you guys have The Amazon, I believe the Amazon account, you could just type in the QR code and you're going to have access to our cosmic origin in audio form. You'll be able to listen to it. It's a little over 11 hours. All right. It's all right. So we do have another super chat. So that's my first gift. I have 4 more gifts that I'm going to give out throughout the live. All right. So going back to the live, I'm actually reading the questions from my phone because it's easier on here. From Ronnie Seri. Thank you so much for your very generous donation. Appreciate that. Ronnie Seri. Hi, Ishmael. Do you, any of your digital books have the new edition? Yes, I do have a new edition. And actually, the audio version is based on the new edition with the added chapter, which talks about what happens after the ascension. To answer the first part of your question. The second part, do star seeds get to go back home after the ascension takes place? That's up to you. After the new earth sets in, you are going to have the choice to go back to your home planet or to remain here. Because remember, this earth is going to take its rightful place in the multiverse. It's going to be at the center, the headquarters world, right? The new kingdom, the new Avion, the new Asgard. And from here, the guardians of the new earth, right, which are going to be us when we activate our superhuman abilities, we're going to protect the different realms from this earth as earth takes her new position in the cosmos at the center of everything. All right. And then the last part of your question, Rene Siri, is, will earth go back to the dark age after 1,000 years of peace? No, absolutely not. And let me tell you why. Because the Platonic year cycle, which is a cycle of 25,000 years, has already been completed 5,200 times, which is the equivalent of our solar system, along with Alcyone and Sirius B, going around the galactic core in a period of 231 million years. So what's happening is that not only is the Earth going to be settled in the state of light, love, and enlightenment and peace forever, for all time and all eternity, but this also means the ascension and completion and restoration of our galaxy, the Milky Way. Because even our galaxy was severed from its original, right, when it was connected to the M31 Andromeda galaxy. So it's all that's going to be restored because we're ending cycles greater than the Platonic year 25,000 year cycle. Again, due to the fact that the Earth has already completed 52 revolutions of 25,000 years, 5,200 times, right? Civilizations have been here for millions of years. We're now getting ready to allow, or the entire galaxy, rather, is now getting ready to ascend as a result of that. And Earth is now going to be at the epicenter of the new universe that we're going to be a part of. And we have another super chat. Sylvia Vidal, thank you so much. I appreciate that. She's saying in Spanish, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, too. Thank you, sister. All right, so to finish the question of Jimmy, let's see. Again, Jimmy W., if you order my book, Our Cosmic Origin, the suppressed history of the Earth is all there. It all begins with the galactic history, and then I tie it down to that, how that galactic conflict led to our solar system when Earth was still Tiamat. And then I also reveal how from that point on, it's been, the true history up until the present moment. Okay, so go ahead and order Our Cosmic Origin. Now I'm going to give away the second free audio version. Are you guys ready for this one? Oh, before I do so, I want to answer one more question from my galactic sister, Idana Feiner. Idana, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. And your question is, dearest Ishmael, very merry day. Likewise, sister. I also like every day is a holiday. All real history we still have to learn, and very grateful to you for helping us to do so. Oh, you're welcome, sister. A lot of love and appreciation. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Irina. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to give away the second audio. Are you guys ready for this? Make sure you write it down. All right, make sure you write it down. 1 second. Okay, so the next one is W, Q, Q as in QAnon. Oops, shouldn't say that. W, Q, N, Z as in zebra, 2, the number 2, T as in Tom, 56, M as in Mary, 2, the number 2, E as in Edward, K as in kite, and then Z as in zebra. So download your Audible. If you guys have the Amazon account, download the Audible and then type in this QR code WKNZ as in zebra, 2, the number 2, T as in Tom, 56, M as in Mary, the number 2, E as in Edward, and then K as in kite, and then Z as in zebra. One more time. WQNZ 2 T 56 M 2 EKZ. All right. That's the second audiobook that I'm giving away. And then there's 3 more to go. And as we continue, I'll give the last 3 away. All right. So we have another super chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the super chats. You guys are making my Christmas a very, very, very comforting, very warming. You know, I feel very appreciated. In other words, I feel appreciated by you guys. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm just going to read random questions. All right, guys, lay them on me. Come on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just type in the QR codes. All right, so if we have the 2 winners, please let us know if you won the book. Type it in the comments. And I want to welcome 767 people that are in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you, Truth Seeker Forever. You're loved and appreciated. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. I'm looking for questions. Oh, and by the way, guys, I've been releasing some really good shorts on my channel. Don't forget to watch the I just released one on star seeds, another one on family traditions across the different religions, right? The value of having a family. Of course, we all know that we are a family, right? We are the star nations, right? Connecting on the earth. The dangers of AI, which is a clip that we took from my chat with Catherine Edwards. So make sure you guys always look at those. You know, it's 2 to 3 minutes long, but they're powerful insights on family, star seeds, and also not to mention. I want to promote the idea of having good mental health. Unfortunately, suicide is still rampant, especially among people like us who feel different, who are the black sheep, right? It's very hard for us to have friends, right? We get along here because we're all like peas in a pod here, right? Because we all have similarities, but it's very hard for us, to live in a world where the majority of humans are still asleep, right? And they're still, getting that and talking about re-electing Brandon and all that stuff. But the whole point is try to maintain a healthy mental lifestyle by only associating yourself with like-minded individuals, people that are going to uplift you, people that are going to, celebrate your own success, people that are going to be, you could say, um, virtuous in your own life. That's the word, virtuous in your own life, right? So let's do that, because I know that as we approach, um, the month of February, right? Is it the month of February, the suicide month? We have to just remember that suicide is not the answer. Um, there's been several times in my life, I'm not going to deny it, when I was a teenager, that I wanted to, off myself. I tried actually 3 times, and for whatever reason, I was a failure at that. All right, so as a kid, I was very depressed. I used to drink a lot as a teenager, right? So I'm not going to deny it, guys. All throughout my life, maybe up until the age of 20, 21, um, maybe even 25, 26, every now and then I used to get those thoughts. All right, and it's normal to get those thoughts, where we've had enough. It's very hard for us to fit in, and we just want to exit and go back home. But let me tell you guys, a lot of the times those thoughts are put into our heads by archon energy and dark entities, because they don't want us to transform. They don't want us to activate, because they know that once we do, it's game over for the dark forces. So as a reminder, guys, for especially for those that are dealing with depression, those that are in a very low frequency for whatever reason, just remember who you are. You are the living son and daughter of the Most High, and you volunteer to come here at this time, and you are extremely powerful. All right, so think twice before you allow those negative thoughts to consume your mind. All right, suicide is never the answer, never. Especially now when our bodies are about to transform into metahuman, superhuman, physical angels. So it's very important. It's very important, guys, to maintain good mental health. Now, I'm going to give away another book. Are you guys ready for this one? All right, so the next book, let's see, where is it at? 1 second. All right, the third book. Are you guys ready? QR code is X as in Xmas, Christmas, X-Men, X55, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, U as in unit, Q as in QR code, 6 as in the number 6, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, T as in Tom, C as in zebra. So I'm going to repeat it again. X55, SAU, Q, SMSATZ. And then one more time. X55, SU, no, S, X55, SAU, QSMSATZ. Okay. And then I'll give 2 more away. I wonder if I should just type these. Would it be better if I type them here in the chat? Would it? Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and type them in for you guys. All right, so we do have another super chat from Sylvia Vidal. Thank you so much for your donation, sister. Ishmael, I had a download. Imagine if in this new year the ball drops down stating Happy New Year of 2012 to help kick off the disclosure. What do you think? I think it's very probable, Sylvia, very probable that sometime during the new year or after the new year, I'm sorry, there might be some sort of droplets that are going to lead into some major disclosure. We're there. We're there. It was just recently, right, where um, it was known. How can I say it? I don't want to get striked. The list, right? The island, okay? All the people that attended that island, it was ruled out by the Supreme Court that all that stuff should be revealed sometime in the next 2 weeks. So if they go ahead and do that, if they reveal all of those, people that went to that island, that's going to be the beginning of disclosure, because that in turn will allow for other can of worms to open as well. Okay. And yes, a lot of these people that we thought were benevolent, right? Like Oprah, you know, they're all going to be exposed. They're all going to be exposed. All right. So we have 5 minutes left, and I want to get to some answers, and I'm also going to give away 2 more QR codes for 2 more books. All right. So the next QR code, are you guys ready for this? I'm just going to type it in. I'm going to type it in. So bear with me. My typing skills are it's like a 5th grader. I'm just kidding. Let's see. I'm going to say it first and then I'll type it in. All right. So it's XX, triple X, triple XXX, Y as in Y2K, G as in God, Y as in Y2K, J as in Jason, 3, 5, S as in Sam, 2, U, and 9. Let me type it in. So it's XXX, 3 X's, YGY, YGY, J35, J35, S2U9. So it's going to be S2 and then U and 9. Right, here we go. I just typed it in, guys. That is the the 4th giveaway. So yeah, it's XXXYGY J35 S2U9. Is that what I wrote? Yes. Yep, that's it. Might as well give away the final giveaway. Are you guys ready for the final one? All right, the final one is XXY, G as in God. Oh, I'm sorry, I've already said that one. No, the final one is Z as in zebra, G as in God, R as in Rose, P as in Paul, U as in Urantia, 4 as in number 4, M as in Mary, Q as in Q and I don't want to say that word, E as in Edward, M as in Mom, K as in Kite, A as in Apple, and then U as in Urantia. Okay, so let me go ahead and type that in. So it's ZGRP, ZGRP, U4M, U4M, QEM, QEM, KUA. I'm sorry, no, KAU, backwards, KAU. All right, here it is. I typed it in. That is the 5th and final book that I'm giving away tonight, the audio version. So you could actually listen to it while you guys are driving or right before you go to sleep. All right, I'm going to take a couple more questions before we end tonight's live. Thank you so much for being here, all 748 of you. Again, happy holidays. 2024. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to release a video, just a brief video, under a minute, about what I believe 2024 is going to unfold for us. Okay, so it's going to be a beautiful, magical year of disclosure. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. 2024 is going to be a year like no other. All right, so another upcoming video that I want you guys to watch is the power of self-reflection. The power of self-reflection. It was Socrates who used to say, know thyself, know thyself. If you want to change the world, right, what do? You change the person you see in the mirror first. That's how we change the world. In fact, according to the latest quantum research, everything that happens in our life is a reflection of what's going on in here. So if you guys want to change the world for the better, always look in the mirror and look at yourself and make yourself a better person. Every day we have the opportunity to become better versions of ourselves through our actions, through our thoughts, through our daily activities, our daily interactions with people. Are you uplifting people? Are you, not uplifting people? I guess that's the best way to put it, right? Are you guys people that uplift others, right? Because when you help others, you help yourself, right? Think about it, service to others. All right, so do we have any more questions? Oh, yes. And I'm also going to be presenting at the Los Angeles Conscious Live Expo this coming February. My presentation is going to be taking place on the 11th, which is on a Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. in the morning in the room called The Rabbit Hole. I'm going to be giving a detailed description of the entire cosmic history and the war with AI. All right. So for those that attend the Conscious Live Expo this February, make sure you order your ticket now, because if you order it now, it's only $50 to watch me present, right? But if you buy your ticket at the door, it's going to be $60. Any upcoming events? Let's see. And I think that's it for now. All right, with that in mind, I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. Thank you so much for spending your Christmas Eve. Oh, no, I'm sorry, your Christmas Day evening with me. Christmas Eve was yesterday, right? Thank you so much for spending your Christmas evening with me. I hope you guys have a beautiful new year, and I will see you guys in 2 days at the same time here on my channel. May the God Force be with each and every single one of you. Good night.